sonic appeal.
Check. Okay,
Yeah.
signal's looking good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
An audio engineer.
I think it's as good as it can get. Yeah.
All right. Well,
cool.
Shan McMullen in the house.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
for sure.
thank you so much. She is 23 years old. She works at Atlantic Records. She freelances. She does branding. She does. She has a whole list of amazing things that she does. Very talented, out there hustling. And talk us through a couple of your main gigs. What is it that sets you in the music industry?
Well, you said it already. I've been working for Atlantic Records. I've been a house engineer at one of their Hollywood locations, or North Hollywood locations, for the past 2 years. So I guess they're a pretty big label. Some people might have heard of them. So I guess that might make me in the industry. One of the bigger people that I work with on a consistent basis is a producer named Illmind. And that's like outside of Atlantic, but I ended up getting that one on my own. I guess those are really the two biggest ones that put me in the industry. Like you also mentioned, I freelance a lot too, so I have a lot of clients that are independent artists, up and coming, are coming to me to help get their sound kind of on that next professional level. Other than that, I just try to spread the knowledge in any ways that I can. I make sound packs for producers. I collab with people because I produce as well. I offer mixing and Pro Tools lessons, studio setup, social media branding for producers or engineers like myself. Really just I guess those are like the biggest things, but anything that has to do with audio. I'm a sound nerd, so if it's audio related, I will be there.
And actually, I found out about you through watching Pensado's Place, where Illmind was speaking very highly of you.
Do you have a go-to mix engineer for your stuff? Or is it different things for...
Not really. I don't really have a go-to engineer. There's actually one engineer. She's amazing. I want to shout her out. I met her a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's Shan, S-I-N. Her Instagram is Conductor Shan.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about your relationship with Illmind and how that actually got started.
Obviously, I've been following him on Instagram and Twitter for a long time. He just put out a tweet that said, I need upcoming hungry audio engineer for 4 12-hour unpaid vocal tracking sessions in North Hollywood. And I do vocal tracking in North Hollywood anyways. At the time, I was still living in San Diego, so I was commuting from San Diego to North Hollywood to work at Atlantic. And I just thought, to respond to the tweet, I didn't really think too much of it. Honestly, by the time I saw it and actually responded to it, I almost didn't even send the email because I thought at that point it was 8 hours later. So I thought he probably had already picked somebody. Glad I did send it because according to how he told me, it was it worked out perfectly. I sent it really late. He woke up at 6 in the morning, checked his email, and mine was the first email in his inbox and the only one that he opened. And he recognized my name because it is somewhat unique. And I also, interact with him and, show love on his social media and stuff. So I got an email back the next day that said hey Shan, would love to have you. Here's my phone number. Either way, it worked out. At the end of our first session, he was cleaning up and goes, yeah, do you want to know what I really think? And inside I'm no, and I'm yeah, sure. And he goes, I've worked with some big artists. I've been in the studio with a lot of people and a lot of their engineers, and you're up there at the top. And he just he's very impressed by me. And there were some problems I remember that we ran into that night, and I was able to kind of work around them and everything, and just my studio etiquette and stuff, and all these things that he just really he liked, and they worked with his workflow. He was if you're down, I'd rather not hit up anybody else when I come out here to work. I'd rather just be able to contact you and have you come and do the sessions for me. And ever since then, I mean, and whenever he calls, I clear my schedule. I make sure I'm available. I feel very fortunate to be able to call him a friend and mentor at this point. You know, if I ever have any questions about like moving through my career, or just like, hey, I have this opportunity, what do you think about it? Like if I ever need somebody's opinion or advice from somebody who's like really, you know, just knows the game and he's been doing it for a long time, you know, he is somebody I can just shoot a text to, or, you know, if we're in the studio together, I can just be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm really grateful to have that for sure, you know. And he's like he is what you would think, like how he portrays himself to be on social media, and like, you know, that's how he is. He's the coolest guy. He wants to share the knowledge. He wants to see people win. He's not a negative person. He's very positive and wants good things for everybody around him.
What do you feel social media's role, and what do you feel like the best way to utilize social media for your either branding or reaching out or networking, or all of the above? You
know, just even having that resource alone is very important, and that by itself plays a crucial role. But I think the two, I guess, categories that at least I utilize it for, which you've already mentioned, is like self-branding and networking. And so the self-branding stuff is where, in my opinion, Instagram is very useful for that, because, you know, it's very visual based. So having really good pictures, having good social media content, you know, which doesn't necessarily, I'm not the type, I don't like to have my phone on selfie and be like, hey guys, what's up? That's not the type of content I put out, but that's what's great about it, is because that's not the only way you can reach people, you know. So having good pictures, having good videos, you know, posting on your story, I'm very active with posting on my story. I think that's important. It shows people kind of that, you know, it gives almost a sense of credibility. I'm not saying you have to prove yourself to all these strangers who may follow you, but if people are following you and they're potential customers and they see that you're constantly in the studio, it kind of gives you more of a sense of credibility, because they see like, oh, this is not just what they're posting on their Instagram because they happen to be in a studio. Like, they are consistently in a studio all the time, or whatever it is that you do, you know, you're consistently doing that. So I think the self-branding is super important. And then, yeah, the networking is just being able to reach out to whoever you want.
What is the best piece of advice you can give us for 100% beginners when we begin mixing?
I guess the best advice is to not overthink it. It can be very overwhelming for sure, but if you just remember that a lot of a good mix comes from volume and panning, then it will help you not get so overwhelmed as far as with all the processing. All the other stuff is important, but yeah, just don't overthink it, and remember that a good solid foundation of a mix, like 85% of it is volume and panning. And if you start with those, then the rest of it should come pretty easily.
All right, another question from a student. Olivia is asking, what song do you think is very well mixed, well balanced, and can be used as a reference track?
Really, like any Drake song is mixed very well. 40 is an amazing engineer. He really knows what he's doing, and I listen to a lot of Drake when I'm referencing for hip hop. I'm trying to think of one specifically, but honestly, they're all so good. I mean, just the way that the low end is very balanced, and because a lot of his stuff is very like subby, and a lot of the more R&B stuff that he's known for, and it's just mixed so well balanced. What's the one he did? The After Dark joint with Ty Dolla $ign, or even Finesse on there. I think Finesse on Scorpion is probably one of the best, as far as mixing your low end, probably one of the best references you could listen to. But yeah, really, like, any Drake song is a very good reference point for sure for hip hop and R&B.
Sonic Appeal.